Y'all, grab your tea because the streets of Atlanta are on fire with this one. Just when we thought Rasheeda and Kirk Frost had made it through the worst of their rocky past. BOOM, the drama explodes again in the most scandalous way possible. Cameras caught Rasheeda in a late-night embrace with a mystery man. And guess who was the first to spill the piping hot tea? None other than Yandy Smith herself, who wasted zero time exposing Rasheeda's alleged secret romance on social media. But hold up, it gets messier. Word on the curb is that Kirk didn't just confront Rasheeda behind closed doors, ... He filed for divorce and stormed out of their family home in front of shocked relatives. Sources say Rasheeda broke down in tears, begging Kirk to forgive her, but he wasn't having it. Fans are shocked. The Love and Hip Hop family is divided. And the drama has spilled all over social media timelines. Could this really be the end of one of Love and Miss Squeege and hip hop's longest-standing couples? Or is there more to the story than we've been told? Buckle up, because this story is about to take more turns than a roller coaster. It all started on what seemed like a normal Saturday night in Atlanta. The city was buzzing, music was thumping, and the vibe was electric. Rasheeda had been spotted earlier that evening at an upscale lounge in Midtown, rocking a sleek red dress that had fans online absolutely gagged. She looked radiant, confident, almost too confident. She wasn't alone either. People assumed Kirk would be by her side like always, but instead, she was seen sitting in a dimly lit corner booth with a tall, handsome man no one recognized. Cameras were rolling, and phone flashes lit up like fireworks. That's when Yandy entered the scene, according to multiple eyewitnesses. Yandy arrived at the same lounge just before midnight. Sources say she wasn't even supposed to be there. She came to support a friend's birthday party happening upstairs. But the second she caught sight of Rasheeda with the mystery man, everything stopped. Yandy, known for her loyalty and her sharp tongue, didn't even hesitate. She whipped out her phone, took a quick video from a distance, and posted a cryptic story to her Instagram with the caption, "Loyalty hits different when the cameras ain't rollin'." Within minutes, social media blew up. Comments poured in. Fans were tagging Kirk left and right, and the drama spread like wildfire. Who was this man? Why was Rasheeda looking so cozy with him? And more importantly, where was Kirk? Cut to Kirk, who was reportedly at home that night with the kids, completely unaware that the internet had already declared war on his marriage. He was lounging in the living room, watching old episodes of Love and Hip Hop. One of his friends sent him the story Yandy posted. At first, Kirk thought it was some old video, maybe from a business meeting or a fan encounter. But then he saw the timestamp. It was real. It was live. And it was happening just across town. Sources close to Kirk say he froze. His phone slipped from his hand. He didn't say a word, just grabbed his keys and stormed out the house. Back at the lounge, the situation was escalating. Yandy, never one to keep things subtle, decided to confront Rasheeda in person. She walked straight over to the booth, phone still recording, and said, "Wow, so this what we doing now? In public. Like it's cute." The man with Rasheeda looked confused, but Rasheeda's face turned pale. She tried to laugh it off, saying, "Girl, you're being dramatic. This is a business meeting." Yandy wasn't buying it. "Oh, a business meeting at midnight? At the club? With candlelight and red wine? Yeah, okay, sis." Yandy clapped back, turning the camera to capture the man's face. "Somebody tell Kirk his wife out here playing house." The man quickly got up and walked away, clearly uncomfortable. Rasheeda stood up too, pulling Yandy aside and whispering something that wasn't picked up on camera. But it was too late. The damage was done. Fans were already screen recording and reposting Yandy's story. Blogs picked it up within the hour. Headlines read, "Rasheeda caught red-handed," and Kirk's worst nightmare returns. By the time Kirk pulled up to the lounge, the mystery man was gone. Yandy was gone. It was just Rasheeda sitting alone, scrolling through her phone in disbelief. She looked up and saw Kirk walk in, and witnesses say the entire room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Kirk didn't yell. He didn't cause a scene. He just walked up to Rasheeda, looked her dead in the eyes, and said, "Is this what we doing now?" His voice was low, but the pain in it was undeniable. Rasheeda stood up and reached for his hand. "Kirk, please." "It's not what it looks like." He pulled back. "Then tell me what it is." People around them could feel the tension thick in the air. Some tried to look away, others just kept filming. Rasheeda whispered something again, but Kirk shook his head and turned to leave. That's when she followed him outside. And that's where things got even more intense. Outside the lounge, paparazzi and fans were already gathered. Kirk and Rasheeda walked into a sea of flashing lights, and Kirk tried to push past them, but Rasheeda grabbed his arm. "Kirk, please, just listen to me." He stopped walking. Turned to her. "You've got the whole internet clowning me, and you want me to listen?" "I didn't cheat on you," she said, her voice cracking. "He's a music producer. We were talking about a project. I didn't even know Yandy was coming tonight. So you just out here playing dress up with producers at midnight?" Kirk snapped. "Do you hear how that sounds?" Rasheeda's eyes filled with tears. "You don't trust me?" He laughed bitterly. "Do you even trust you?" By now, Yandy had gone live, answering fan questions and giving her side of the story. "I wasn't trying to start nothing," she told her followers. "But if you gon' do dirt, don't do it in public. I'm just saying." Meanwhile, back outside, Kirk turned and walked to his car. Rasheeda didn't follow this time. She just stood there, wiping tears from her face as fans shouted questions and snapped photos. It was one of the rawest moments fans had ever seen. Rasheeda, the boss chick, the unbothered queen, broken, vulnerable, and exposed. Later that night, Kirk didn't go home. He checked into a hotel, turned off his phone, and told his assistant to cancel all meetings for the next 2 days. Rasheeda, meanwhile, went live to try and control the narrative. In a shaky voice, she explained her side. "I didn't cheat on Kirk. I've been working with this guy on a secret project. I didn't say anything because I wanted to surprise y'all. But now it's blown up into something ugly." Fans were divided. Some believed her. Others were calling her out, bringing up old cheating rumors and asking if this was karma. The Frost family's comment sections were in shambles. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get worse, Kirk posted a single black screen on his Instagram story with the words, "Marriage ain't no joke. Don't play with hearts." Rumors exploded overnight. Bloggers started speculating that Kirk had filed for divorce. Some even claimed they had court documents. Fans were begging for answers. And then, the next morning came with a bombshell. Kirk showed up at Frost Bistro with a legal folder in his hand. According to an employee, he walked straight into the office, closed the door, and didn't come out for over an hour. When he did, he handed the folder to his lawyer, who was waiting in the parking lot. The whispers started immediately. Was it divorce papers? Was this finally the end of Kirk and Rasheeda? As Rasheeda arrived later that day, visibly tired and emotionally drained, fans noticed something different. She wasn't wearing her wedding ring, and that's when the confrontation happened. Part 2 picks up right here, as Kirk and Rasheeda face off in the office of their own restaurant, surrounded by loyal staff, nosy onlookers, and years of love and betrayal coming to a boiling point. As soon as Rasheeda walked through the doors of Frost Bistro, all eyes were on her. The usual lively energy of the restaurant was gone. Staff members whispered behind counters. Customers stared in awkward silence, and even the music seemed lower than usual. She walked in slowly, her face tight, makeup barely covering the puffiness around her eyes. Her fingers fidgeted, and fans watching the footage noticed immediately her wedding ring was missing. She made her way toward the back office, where Kirk had disappeared earlier with that mysterious folder. As she approached the door, she hesitated for just a second, then knocked softly before pushing it open. Inside, Kirk was sitting at the desk, leaning back in his chair, arms crossed. The folder was still on the desk, untouched. The tension in the room was thick enough to choke on. Rasheeda shut the door behind her and took a shaky breath. So she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "You really brought papers?" Kirk didn't respond right away. He just stared at her, eyes cold, face unreadable. Then he nodded slowly. I did. Rasheeda blinked rapidly, trying to hold back tears. After everything we've been through? You don't even want to hear me out. Kirk finally leaned forward, voice low but firm. I heard enough when I saw you hugged up with some dude in public like I was dead. I wasn't hugged up, she snapped, suddenly defensive. Yandy twisted that whole thing. You know how she is. Kirk raised his eyebrows. So now it's Yandy's fault. Rasheeda shook her head and sat down across from him. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm just saying. It wasn't what it looked like. Yes, he's attractive. Yes, it was a late meeting. But I ain't touch him. I ain't kiss him. I ain't do nothing to disrespect you. Kirk slammed his hand down on the table, making her jump. But it looked like disrespect. And that's enough for the world to run with it. Do you know what people are saying about me right now? About us? I got fans in my DMs calling me a clown. You care more about what the fans think than what your wife is telling you. No, he growled. I care that my wife gave them a reason to talk in the first place. The silence between them stretched. Rasheeda leaned forward, eyes filled with pain. I made a mistake. Not by meeting him, by not telling you about it first. I should have said something. I should have been upfront. Kirk looked away. You should have remembered what we went through last time. You remember the work we put in to fix this marriage? And you out here making the same moves that almost ended us? She nodded slowly, tears falling now. I do remember. I remember begging you to forgive me for not leaving when you cheated. I remember standing by you when people dragged me for talking you back. And now I'm the villain. Kirk stood up, pacing the room. So this about getting even now? No. She stood too, voice shaking. It's not about revenge, Kirk. I didn't cheat. I don't know. I was tired. Tired of feeling like I'm always walking on eggshells. Like I gotta be perfect or else I'm gonna get hurt again. He turned to face her. So what? You needed attention from somebody else to feel seen. She looked down, didn't answer. The silence said everything outside the office. Staff pretended not to listen, but everyone was tuned in. One of the servers texted her cousin who worked at a gossip blog. They going at it. It's real bad. Meanwhile, Yandy was doing damage control of her own. She went live again, saying, listen, y'all, I didn't mean to start a whole firestorm. I love Rasheeda, but I also love the truth. And the truth is, if you see your homegirl out with someone that ain't her man and it looks romantic, you gone say something, but fans weren't having it. Some accused Yandy of clout chasing. Others said she did the right thing. The internet was in chaos. Back inside Frost Bistro, the fight between Kirk and Rasheeda wasn't cooling down. In fact, it was just getting started. Kirk sat back down, this time opening the folder. He pulled out a stack of papers and pushed them across the desk toward her. I don't want to do this, he said quietly, but I can't keep living like this. Every time I start trusting again, something happens. Rasheeda stared at the documents. She didn't touch them. You really filed? She asked, voice trembling. Not yet, he admitted, but everything's ready. All I gotta do is sign and submit. Her knees buckled and she sank back into the chair. So that's it. We just throw it all away. Kirk looked down. I don't know. Then came the unexpected knock at the door. Both of them turned as the door creaked open. Standing there, looking completely out of place, was Kirk's cousin Marcus, the same cousin who helped them rebuild after Kirk's cheating scandal years ago. I'm sorry to interrupt, Marcus said, eyes shifting between them. But this ain't the way. Y'all love each other. I've seen it. Y'all been through hell and back, and you still stand in. Kirk sighed. Marcus, not now, man. But Marcus walked in anyway. Yes, now. 'Cause y'all about to ruin everything over a misunderstanding. And I ain't finna let that happen. Rasheeda looked up at him, her eyes pleading. Then tell him to listen. Tell him I didn't cheat. It don't matter what I say, Marcus replied. This about what you believe, Kirk. Kirk rubbed his face, clearly torn. Marcus sat down beside him. Do you still love her? Kirk didn't answer at first. Then finally he said, yeah. But love don't fix everything. No, Marcus agreed. But it's a damn good start. Rasheeda wiped her tears again. Then start with me, please. We can go to therapy again. We can slow down. Whatever you need, Kirk, just don't give up on me. Kirk stared at her, the pain in his eyes softening just slightly. He picked up the divorce papers, looked at them, then placed them back on the desk. I'm not signing them. Not yet. A breath of relief escaped Rasheeda's lips. But just as the tension seemed to cool, another bomb dropped. Marcus looked uneasy. There's something else y'all should know. Kirk frowned. What now? The dude Rasheeda was with, he came to me last night. Said he's been working with you, Kirk? On a surprise remix for her? Said you hired him? Kirk blinked. What? Marcus nodded. Yeah. You've been so busy, your assistant set it up. He didn't even know y'all were married until after he saw Yandy's video. Rasheeda gasped. Wait, so this whole time, he was working for you? Kirk's jaw clenched. I didn't even know who he was. My assistant probably handled it. They all sat in stunned silence. The entire fight, the tears, the papers, all of it based on a massive misunderstanding. But it wasn't over yet, because just as they began piecing it together, Kirk's phone lit up with a text from his assistant that would flip the entire story on its head. Part 3 picks up right here. As the assistant's message reveals a shocking truth, and a new betrayal is uncovered that no one saw coming. Kirk's phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't just another meme or a fan tagging him in gossip. It was a direct message from his assistant, Janaya. 3 simple words flashed across his screen. We need to talk. He stared at the message for a second before showing it to Rasheeda and Marcus. It's from Janaya, he muttered. I think there's more to this. Rasheeda leaned in, confused. What else could there possibly be? Kirk texted back, what's going on? The reply came instantly. That producer Darius, he wasn't just working on Rasheeda's remix. He asked me out twice. Rasheeda blinked. Wait, who's Darius? The dude from the lounge, Kirk said, reading further. Janaya says he tried to slide in her DMs, told her he and I weren't communicating. Well, and that I'd left the project in her hands. Rasheeda's face twisted. So you're telling me? He tried to hit on your assistant while sitting in a booth with me talking about a remix you hired him for. Marcus whistled low. Yo, this Darius dude shady? But Kirk wasn't laughing. His jaw clenched again, this time with anger aimed somewhere new. So now I gotta ask, was this dude trying to snake both of us? Rasheeda looked horrified. I swear I didn't know. He never said a word about you or Janaya. He made it sound like I was his only project. Kirk's phone buzzed again. Another message from Janaya, and he just reached out again today. Said things are complicated with Rasheeda and that he's available if I want to get dinner. Rasheeda's mouth dropped. Open. Excuse me? Marcus shook his head. Yo, this man wild. Kirk stood up abruptly. That's it. We need to talk to this dude. Now. Rasheeda nodded. Call him, nah, Kirk said. We pulling up. 15 minutes later, all 3 of them were on their way to Darius's studio downtown. The car ride was tense. Rasheeda sat in the back seat, arms crossed, staring out the window. Kirk drove in silence, his knuckles white from gripping the wheel. Marcus tried to lighten the mood, but no one was in the mood for jokes. When they arrived. The front door to the studio was slightly open. They walked in unannounced. The smell of cologne and fresh coffee filled the air. Darius was inside, sitting at a control board, headphones around his neck bobbing to a beat. He looked up and smiled until he saw who it was. Oh, hey, he said, standing. Didn't know y'all were coming. Kirk stepped forward. We need to talk. Now. Darius glanced at Rasheeda, then at Marcus. Everything okay? You tell us, Kirk said, pulling out his phone. Want to explain why you're trying to take meetings with my wife while texting my assistant behind our backs? Darius sighed and rubbed his forehead. Look, it's not what you think. Rasheeda stepped up. That's funny, 'cause we've heard that line before. Darius raised his hands. Okay, real talk? Yeah, I flirted with your assistant. That was wrong. But I didn't know who she was at first. I was just networking. Kirk's voice dropped. You told her things were complicated between you and Rasheeda. I meant professionally, Darius stammered. Y'all were clearly having issues. I didn't think it was my place to get in the middle of it, but you did get in the middle. Rasheeda snapped. You let me sit there like a damn fool thinking you were just some professional helping me out. All while you trying to holler at his assistant on the low. Marcus shook his head. Bro, that's slime behavior. Darius looked genuinely remorseful. I messed up. I didn't mean to cause all this. I was just trying to work and maybe, build a few connections along the way. Kirk stepped forward, his voice calm but deadly serious. You ever come near my wife or my team again, we've gone have a whole different kind of meeting. Understood? Darius nodded quickly. Yeah, I get it. I'll back off. The trio left the studio in silence, but the mood had shifted. The target of the anger was now crystal clear, and for the first time in days. Kirk and Rasheeda were on the same side, but that didn't mean the wounds had healed. Later that night, Rasheeda sat alone in the Frost Bistro lounge after hours. The place was empty, lights dimmed, music off. She stared at a photo of her and Kirk from their vow renewal, both of them smiling, completely unaware of how messy life would get. Again, Kirk walked in quietly and sat down beside her. You know, she said softly, I thought we were past all this. I thought we'd finally got to a place where we could just breathe. Me too, Kirk admitted. But life got a way of throwing tests at you just when you think you passed the final exam. Rasheeda looked at him. So, what now? He sighed. We gotta rebuild trust again. Not just because of Darius or Yandy or the internet, but because if we don't fix us, all this don't mean nothing. Rasheeda nodded. I'm willing. Even if it takes time. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Kirk reached into his pocket and pulled out her wedding ring. He'd been carrying it all day. I don't know if you're ready, he said, placing it on the table. But I figured, if we ever do get back to solid ground, you should have this. Tears welled in Rasheeda's eyes. But she didn't reach for the ring. I want to earn it back, she whispered. Not just put it on and pretend like everything's okay? He nodded. I respect that. Meanwhile, the internet was still in chaos. Fans were dissecting every angle, every clip, every live. Some had even started a hashtag. Hashtag Team RASHEEDA versus hashtag Team Kirk. Others were blaming Yandy for stirring the pot, demanding she apologize, and then, just when the noise was starting to settle, a voice memo leaked. It was Darius speaking to someone over the phone. Man, I ain't gonna lie, he said in the recording. I knew who she was. Of course I knew. But if I could slide in and make her question things, why not? Kirk been sloppy in the past. I figured maybe she wanted to feel wanted. The memo hit the blogs within minutes. Kirk's single quotes S phone exploded. Rasheeda's mentions turned brutal again. Fans were furious. But this time, the anger wasn't directed at the Frosts. For once, they were united. And part 4 picks up here as Kirk and Rasheeda confront the leak. Handle the internet firestorm and face an unexpected twist that could flip their fragile peace upside down once again. The voice memo had barely been online for 10 minutes before it went viral. Fans reposted it, dissected every syllable, and flooded the comments with outrage. Memes exploded across Twitter and Instagram. Darius was officially the villain, and Kirk and Rasheeda, they were suddenly the victims in a story that had flipped on its head back at home. Kirk and Rasheeda sat in the living room, scrolling through the chaos. Both were silent, watching the narrative unravel in real time. It was surreal. Days ago, they were on the edge of divorce. Now, the internet was rallying behind them like never before. He played both of us, Kirk finally said, shaking his head. He played everybody, Rasheeda replied. Yandy, the fans. Me, Kirk set his phone down. I should have trusted you. Rasheeda turned to him. No, I should have told you about the meeting, even if it was innocent. We can't keep acting like we don't owe each other transparency. He nodded. You're right. They both exhaled. The room was quiet except for the distant sound of a washing machine running in another room. Ordinary domestic noise in the middle of an extraordinary mess. Just then, Kirk's phone rang again. This time it was Yandy. He looked at the screen. "You want to take this one?" Rasheeda smirked. "Nah, that's all you," Kirk answered. "Yo, Kirk," Yandy's voice came through, sounding rattled. "You heard it?" "We heard it. I had no idea that dude was on some snake stuff. I wouldn't have said nothing if I knew he was playing y'all. Like that? I swear." Kirk paused. "You sure about that?" "Come on now," Yandy shot back. "You think I'd risk my friendship with Rasheeda just to stir the pot? I called it like I saw it. But I never wanted it to go down like this." Kirk looked at Rasheeda. She nodded slowly. "All right," Kirk said into the phone. "We appreciate you calling. But maybe next time, talk to us before going live." "Say less," Yandy replied. Lesson learned. After they hung up, Rasheeda looked at Kirk. "You believe her?" He shrugged. "I believe she meant well, even if she'll messy with it." "So what now?" Rasheeda asked. "Now we fix us. In real life, not for the fans, not for the blogs." And that's exactly what they tried to do. Over the next few days, the Frost household was quiet. No cameras, no interviews, no appearances. Kirk stayed off social media. Rasheeda posted only once a black and white photo of her and Kirk from years ago. Captioned simply, "Healing." Fans flooded the comments with love and support. Even the critics had gone quiet. But the peace didn't last long. A week later, a new development shook everything once again. A blogger by the name of Tea Goddess posted a blurry photo of Darius having dinner with Janiyah, Kirk's assistant. The caption read, "Not Darius being messy again." And this time with Kirk's assistant. "Betrayal level expert." Assistant. "Betrayal level expert." The internet lit up again. Kirk saw the post while sitting at the kitchen table with Rasheeda. He held up the phone. "Yo, is that Janiyah?" Rasheeda leaned over. Oh my God, Janiyah hadn't said a word since the voice memo leaked. She'd kept her distance, claiming she was processing everything. Now, it looked like she was processing it over shrimp cocktails with the same man who nearly tore her boss's marriage apart. Kirk texted her immediately. "We need to talk." Now, an hour later, Janiyah arrived at the house looking nervous. "Before y'all say anything," she began, "it wasn't a date." Kirk raised an eyebrow. "You sure? 'Cause it looked like a date." "He asked to meet to apologize in person. He said he wanted to make things right. So you thought dinner was the best way to do that?" Rasheeda asked, arms folded. Yana, yes sighed. "I was trying to give him a chance to explain himself. That's it. I wasn't flirting. I wasn't planning nothing shady." Kirk leaned back. "And what did he say?" "That he got caught up. Said he thought he could finesse his way into the industry by attaching himself to you, Rasheeda. Then, when that didn't work, he tried to cozy up to me." Rasheeda shook her head. "He used all of us, double quotes." Yana nodded. "And he said something else." "Something weird? What?" Kirk asked. "He said someone told him to do it. That he didn't come to Atlanta just for music. That he was sent to stir the pot." Kirk's face went cold. "Sent by who?" Janiyah looked uncomfortable. "He didn't say a name. Just that he owed someone a favor. Someone who wanted to see y'all fall." Rasheeda and Kirk exchanged a look. It wasn't just random chaos. Someone was orchestrating this behind the scenes. "We got enemies?" Rasheeda asked. "In this industry?" Kirk said. "Plenty." It was another twist in a story that just wouldn't stop twisting that night. Kirk and Rasheeda sat down for a joint Instagram live. The energy was different this time, calm, raw, but united. "We've been through hell the past couple weeks," Rasheeda began. "And y'all saw some of our lowest moments," Kirk added. "But the truth is, marriage ain't always pretty. It's work. Real work. We learned a lot," Rasheeda said. "About trust, about communication. About how easy it is for outside energy to come in and mess everything up. But we still here," Kirk said. "And we gone be all right." Fans lit up the comments. Hearts, applause, emojis, and "we love y'all" flooded the screen. But some fans still had questions. Who sent Darius? Was it someone from their past? Another artist? A rival. No one knew for sure. But one thing was certain, the Frost family wasn't crumbling. If anything, they were stronger now than they had been in years. Still, the internet never sleeps. And just when things felt like they were winding down, a new post appeared on T-Goddess's page, a shadowy screenshot of what looked like a private DM from a verified account promising exclusive details on the person who hired Darius. The caption read, "This ain't over," and just like that, the fire was lit all over again. So now, the internet's still burning and rumors hotter than ever, the Frost Empire stands at a crossroads. Kirk and Rasheeda may have survived Darius's mind games, Yandy's public exposure, and even a near divorce. But the biggest mystery still remains. Who sent Darius? Was it an old enemy with a score to settle? Was it a rival in the music game trying to sabotage their comeback? Or was it someone even closer? Someone in the circle they still trust? Fans are buzzing with theories, and the Frost family has remained silent about the cryptic screenshot teased by T-Goddess. But sources close to the situation say more receipts are about to drop, and when they do, it could change everything again. Rasheeda may have cried. Kirk may have filed. But the story is far from over. And the next twist, it might just be the biggest one yet. So now we turn it over to you. What do you think? Was Darius acting alone, or was he a pawn in someone else's game? Should Kirk and Rasheeda give their marriage another chance? Or is it time to walk away for good? And did Yandy help? Or just make everything worse? Drop your theories in the comments below, because this drama is just getting started. Make sure you hit that like button if you were glued to the T. Subscribe for more explosive updates and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single messy moment. Trust us, you're gonna want to see how this ends. This has been the realest, rawest, and most unbelievable week in love and hip-hop land. And if you thought it was over, think again. We'll see you next time with receipts.